Panther family, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the I Will Say podcast. I'm your host, Mac, and I'm so excited to have the guest on that I do tonight because softball season's right around the corner, and she's a rising softball star. And that is none other than Miss Jaycee Goodwin, the junior catcher from Paris, Kentucky. She's been on the president's list a few times now, and as I said, is a rising star. So I'm honestly super excited to get to talk to her this afternoon. So before we get into it, I know I thanked you off air, JC, but just want to go ahead and thank you again for giving me some time. And how have you been this week?
I have had a great week. As you know, we start playing next Thursday, so a little bit less than a week away. So we've definitely been gas pedal to the floor lately. It's great, it's really exciting, but I'm definitely a little bit tired. So I'm gonna enjoy my weekend and try to revamp and get ready for next week and some traveling.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Cool. Well, with that being said, I won't keep you too long here. We'll go ahead and get into it. This first question, JC, is one that all guests on the I Will Say podcast get, and that's really just pretty simply, what has been your favorite part of being a Georgia State student athlete so far?
My favorite part of being a GSU student athlete is the multidimensional experience I've had that I feel like is very unique to GSU. I get to compete in one of the top Division I softball conferences in the United States, but I'm also pursuing an incredible education in public policy. I'm getting to really explore my professional development because of all of the opportunities in Atlanta. And I also have been very heavily involved in student organizations as well as as the community. So I think that that is a very unique experience that I've had that is very Georgia State. And I think that this has allowed me to explore my identity holistically, not only as an athlete, but as a woman. And I think that that's a very big privilege that I've got to have for sure.
Nice. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. You touched on some things that we'll get into a little later, some of the student councils that you're leading here at Georgia State. I'm excited to hear about that. But second part of this first question, and this one, it could be a road trip or maybe just a practice that was really fun. But what has been your favorite memory so far of being a Georgia State student athlete?
So last year, my sophomore season, we beat Georgia Southern at home. It was a crazy game. I could just tell before the game the way we were warming up. I was like, we're about to eat them alive. And it was an amazing game. Two of my best friends on the team, they were freshmen and they both had two of their biggest moments of the year. And I think that I was just so happy to be a part of the team in that moment. And beating Georgia Southern is the best feeling in the world always. So that definitely has been my favorite memory by far so far.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And you can say that again, being Georgia Southern, it's just warms our heart. You know what I mean? Awesome. So we'll go down the timeline a little bit for you, JC. You went to high school in North Kentucky, as I mentioned, Paris, Kentucky. At least on the map, it looks right outside of Lexington. It may not be that close to Lexington. But you also played for the Atlanta Vipers, winning a few national championships with them. So how did that work exactly with you living in Kentucky and playing for a team that was located in Atlanta? And how valuable of an experience do you think that was for you?
My parents have demonstrated sacrifice and hard work to me my entire life. I always knew their dream was to do whatever it took for me and my sister to get out of Kentucky and to be exposed to greater opportunities. This has truly been my mindset for as long as I can remember. There would be nights that I would get home at 4 in the morning after playing 4 games earlier that day, and I would have to be at school at 8 o'clock the next day. I think I went to maybe one football game the whole time I was in high school because we were always leaving on Fridays. And I think that has shown me from a young age that athletics would open up a world of opportunity to me and that that sacrifice was more than worth it. And I think that that was a very valuable experience. I played at a super high level for a very long time. But I think what's more important is that it taught me to push myself and to manage my time and compete while also keeping up with my academics. And I think those are tangible skills that I still use in my day to day life today.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm getting inspired over here listening to you, JC. It's you have an incredible story, and I'm just so glad that we as Georgia State and the Panther family are lucky to have you. So
Thank you.
that is awesome. Speaking of the Atlanta Vipers, you were one of 5 players that ended up committing to Georgia State on the team, the most of any school for that graduating class. So was this something you guys kind of planned, or how did that go around? How did that go about, and how were those bonds really formed before you guys got to Georgia State?
We still laugh about this all the time, but it was not planned. I think that Georgia State has so much to offer. So everybody kind of came for their own reasons and they were all different. which is really cool. But I'm very thankful for this. It has been truly an amazing thing to watch my teammates, all of them, but especially the ones I've known since I was 12 or 13, just grow into like such amazing women and teammates and players. And we talk about it all the time. Like I know them when I was 12, and I'm going to go through college with them and be at their weddings one day. So it's just been like an amazing thing. And I think that before I even got to school here, we were not even graduated high school yet, and we already had our outfits picked out for the first football game. Like we couldn't wait to get here. And I really love my teammates with my whole heart, and I admire them so much. And I think that we were just naturally a part of a sisterhood and family before we even stepped on the field here. And I think that my class was very close. And I've seen us all succeed in so many different ways. And I think that definitely has to do with the bond that we had before we even arrived here. So
Oh yeah. No, I can only imagine. And I mean this with the utmost respect. I'm getting I'm getting like team mom vibes from you, where you're like the mom of everybody and
yes, I
looking
am.
out for everyone. So
Yes,
I had friends like that for sure. We called him the dad of the group, and he was always looking out for us, you know?
yes, definitely.
I love it. I love it. So cool. So moving down the timeline a little bit now we'll get to your time at Georgia State. You didn't see too much action your freshman year, but when you did, you made a difference. You came through with a two-run blast down the line to give the Panthers a lead against App State and an 8-5 victory. And I just got to know, how good did that feel to come in a moment like that and deliver such a big hit?
I've dreamed of playing softball my entire life in college. I started playing softball at 3 years old. In the sixth grade, I realized Georgia State was my dream school, and I was going to do whatever it took to get to Georgia State. So sometimes I think back on all my time here, and I'll just like cry because I'm just so overwhelmed with like being so grateful for every moment. All the good moments, but all the bad too. I think I've just grown so much as a athlete, but as a person as well. And that moment felt incredibly overwhelming, but also was like everything I ever worked for my entire life like began to fall into place. And it definitely has been one of those days that I'll just never forget.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I can imagine it just had to feel like this moment was finally here and you got it, and I love it. Did you use that feeling though to propel you to the stellar sophomore season that you did have last year?
I will say that what I remember most from that game was the outpouring love I got from my teammates and my coaches. I remember sliding to second and just looking up, and everybody was going crazy for me. And just seeing the way they believed in me and cared for me, that just made me like tap into a confidence I'd never had before. And I feel like that really let me take my game to the next level, and that carried on to my sophomore year. And I think I came out my sophomore year with a little bit of swag because I was like, I've got the whole team behind me. Like I know that I'm here for a reason. So I definitely think that that definitely transferred to my sophomore year for sure.
I love it. I love it. That's what it's all about, you know? That's what it's all about. Speaking of your sophomore season, though, you played a huge role for the Panthers, starting 40 out of 43 games, and you were a Swiss Army knife for the Panthers, doing just about everything for the team. Most notably, leading the team in hits by pitches. I see you. I see you getting in there.
I lean into them. So
Hey, it works. You know, it's strategy. You know? Did you view the role of being a versatile player as a fun, like slash fitting one for yourself, or was it something that kind of just naturally happened?
I think if you ask anyone what kind of player I am, they would all say the same thing. I am a very scrappy, aggressive, gritty, hard-nosed player. I have been my entire life. Every day I step on the field, I want to give my all for GSU. I love who I play for and what I play for and who I play with. And I think that I love what it means to be a Panther and a female athlete. And I think that that's my strong focus on being a versatile player is because I just want to fulfill my role and execute my job, whatever that may be. Sometimes Coach Angie calls on me for a hit, or sometimes she just needs a bunt out of me, or just to cause, craziness on the bases. And whatever that is, I'm going to make it happen, or I'm going to go down trying. And I think my versatility is one of my favorite aspects of my game. And it's never something that I would want to change because I think that, you never know what you're going to get out of Jaycee Goodwin. And I think that that kind of makes me one of those players that's like, oh, we don't know about this girl. But for sure, I definitely love my versatility, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in.
I love it. I love it. You keep them on their toes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They never know. They never know.
Not even my teammates know. Sometimes I'll do stuff and they'll be like, "What were you thinking?" I'm like, "I don't know. I saw my opportunity, so I went for it."
But you're like, sometimes I don't even know. It just happens.
So it just happens. I play the game.
I love it. I love it. Cool. So now we'll get into this season a little bit. Talk about this one a little. The Panthers, as you mentioned, start their season next Thursday in sunny Orlando, Florida, playing against the Howard Bisons. How excited are you guys to get the season started, and especially in a place like Florida?
We are so excited. Our practices since returning to campus this past January, have been incredibly competitive, but also so fun and exciting. The team is gelling so well. Our team looks very different from last year. We have a bunch of new freshmen, some transfers. So, it's always overwhelming a little bit when you have a whole new staff coming in, but I think that we have just been coming together and flowing so nicely. And we've been working so hard and we are just ready to show who GSU softball is this year. And we're really ready to just claim our identity. I think that we all really love each other and we love the game. And I think that's how we play the game as people that love it and love each other. And I'm really excited to see what that looks like on the field against other people.
Oh, I am too. I am too. You guys, the whole program is on the right track. Coach Nicholson is doing something good over there, and hearing how much you guys love to be around each other. I mean, that just
Oh,
having a sports background myself, I know how much that matters, and it's yeah, that's huge. So, one more little question about Orlando. Have you guys convinced Coach Nicholson to let you go to Disney yet, or is that in the plans?
our coaching staff literally spoils us so much. I know we will definitely have a blast in Florida. There's been some rumors about the beach, but they always make the trip super fun and memorable and exciting. So, but they definitely spoil us. But we're very excited to get down to Florida and see what they have planned.
I love it. I love it. So after you guys are down in Orlando for the UCF Black and Gold Classic, the Panthers will then host three early season invitationals yourselves in the Panther Invitational, the I-75 Classic, and the Bob Heck Classic, excuse me. What does it feel like to have so many great programs coming into our city and to have so many opportunities to prove that GSU softball will be a force to be reckoned with this season?
I think to simply put it would just to be that we're ready. We are so ready. We are so excited. We're like biting at the bit. And we're definitely excited to go to Orlando, but the energy when playing on your home field is just so different. Warming up before the game in the locker room. I can't wait to have all those home games back to back to back. And I know whoever they put in front of us, I know we have teams coming from all over the country, but we're coming at them for full force and we're super ready. And it's really an honor to represent Atlanta in Atlanta. So we can't wait for these tournaments. They're always a great time and they really set us up well for the upcoming conference matches. So I'm very excited and I think it's a great opportunity to get better, but also to prove who we are as a team.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's got to be pretty cool and quite an honor to be hosting three, like I said, early season invitationals like that and having so many teams and be able to really put your name out there as oh man, they're doing something serious in Atlanta here, guys. So I love it. I love it. One more question about softball. Then like I said, I got a couple questions about your students, the SAAC. But your little sister plays softball for UGA. I have to know, what were some of the competitions like growing up in the Goodwin household, and how excited are you to take it to her on April 10th?
So I'm actually the oldest of four. My sister is a sophomore at Georgia on the softball team. My brother is a freshman football player at Kentucky Wesleyan, and I have another sister that's a sophomore in high school that is on one of the best basketball teams in the state of Kentucky. So my house is easily one of the most competitive houses I've ever seen. We could not even walk next to each other without it becoming some kind of competition. I will say, naturally, this led to a lot of fights. It was a very rough way to grow up. You would think it would be all four boys, but no, there was three girls in there. And I think though, now that we're getting older, we're becoming so much closer. And that's just been so rewarding for me as the oldest daughter. I love them with my whole heart. They mean the world to me. Playing my sister at Georgia this past year was a dream come true for the both of us. We are both so grateful for all that we have gotten to accomplish. She's my biggest enemy on the field. She has been my whole life, but she is my best friend in the entire world. And I know she knows that. Outside of those 7 innings when we play them, she knows I'm her biggest fan. And it's just really a cool thing to see when two sisters get to face off against each other like that at two universities in the same state. I'm not really sure how common it is, but I'm pretty sure it's not very common that that happens. And my whole life, she made me a better athlete and a better person. And just to be able to play on that stage against her, it's definitely competitive. We'll walk past each other on the field and we'll be like, but after the game, it's a surreal moment for my entire family and everybody at home, but especially for us.
I love it. I love it. That's what civil rivalry is all about. And like I
Yes.
said, you still love each other, you know?
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. Cool. So now we'll get to something a little less competitive, but equally as important. You're the current president of the GSU SAAC and the Sunbelt SSANC as well. Needless to say, you're involved in some pretty cool things.
Yes.
What are some things that SAANC is looking to achieve this semester, and how much does it mean to you to be leading something that is just so important?
So, being a part of SAAC, we do a lot of things, but we have a main focus on acting as a student athlete voice, as well as community service and outreach, as well as student athlete engagement. Being a part of SAAC has just absolutely transformed the person that I am. Before getting to Georgia State, I was a very quiet person. I would have told everyone I was an introvert my entire life. I became a part of SAC, and now I have just beautiful relationships with my teammates, but every athlete at Georgia State. I can't even begin to explain like the amazing stories that I've heard and just the people that I've gotten to meet. And it's really been a privilege because everyone in my life is just truly so inspiring. But I will say this semester, so we are trying to hit 4,000 hours of community service on the year. Currently, we're sitting about 3,000, so we should easily meet that benchmark, which will be double what we've done in the past. But we definitely are very connected in our community. We go to this local children's homeless shelter. We do a lot at adult homeless shelters. We go to a lot of elementary schools. We are just very involved, and that's something we take a lot of pride in here at Georgia State. Nearly every athlete at GSU has completed at least 10 hours of community service on the year. And that is something that I think has just it's been transformative for so many of our athletes to realize that the privilege that we have, the platform that we have to make a difference in so many lives. And I've seen so many people grow through their relationships and with their leadership and others. We also have a strong focus on student athlete engagement. In the last year since I've been president, we started a group called the Athlete Connection, which is a mental health small group for Georgia State student athletes to connect with others. And also, we started Black Student Athlete Association through SAC last February. And we have just seen such great success with both of those groups. We also do Panthers Supporting Panthers, where we go to different sporting events, all of our athletes. And I think that it's been so rewarding for me as the president to see how our athletes have really come together, different sports, the relationships that will last forever, the resources, the network that we have created here. It's a very tight knit community. And since I've been a freshman to now, it's been incredible to watch that grow. So I love SAC. I encourage everyone in college athletics to get involved, learn a little bit more about SAC. It's a great group, and we're doing really big things. And I think that we're just going to continue to grow and strive and push our athletes to be great on the field, but also in the classroom and also in the community, as well as in their relationships with others.
I love it. I love it. All the kudos in the world to you, JC. That is incredible what you guys are doing over there. That community service, all those hours, that's just incredible. That's making a bigger impact than, you could ever realize. So it's just so awesome you guys are being so active in the community and really making a positive impact like that. So it's just so awesome to see. And clearly they got a very incredible young lady leading the charge. So I couldn't think couldn't think there was anybody better to do it at this point. So
Thank you.
of course, of course. One more question for you, JC. Then like I said, I'll let you enjoy your Friday afternoon here. But this one is a little more fun. I'll paint the picture for you here, though. The whole team is on the bus, coaches included. You got your trainer, staff, everything, and you got the aux cord for the next few hours. What kind of music, artists, podcasts, whatever it may be, what is Jaycee Goodwin going to be playing? And I guess I should always I got to change it up. This is on the way to the game because that's always the question: is it always post or pre? So this is the ride to the game.
We have a very diverse music taste on the team. I'm typically one of two people that always have aux, and so I gotta please everybody. So we will listen to some crazy EDM pump up music, and then some real Atlanta rap, and we will just rotate through like so many genres of music. I think if you saw our playlist, you'd be like, "This doesn't make any sense. This is like 10 different genres." But our team is very different, but we always make a great time out of all of it. But we definitely keep it very, very upbeat on the bus. I think our coaches are just like, oh my gosh. But my freshman year, I remember coming home from a trip. We did busaoke where they had us get, I was a freshman. They had me get up in front of the whole team and sing some song. And it was one of the most humiliating moments of my entire life. And now, as a proud upperclassman, I can't wait to impose that on our freshmen this coming trip next week. So I'm very excited for that to finally be in the other side of the table of things. So I love the bus rides, though. Some of my favorite moments since I've been on the team have been on the bus for sure.
I love it. I love it. That's where some of the best memories are made for sure. And Busoki, man, that sounds intimidating, but like you said,
It
now you get to be the judge. Now you get to be Simon Cowell
is.
on the table judging them as they sing. So I love it. I love it. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Jaycee, again for giving me some time. I'm gonna say you have an incredibly bright future ahead of you. So just so excited to see what you accomplish, not only this season but obviously going forward as well. So thank you so much again for giving me some time, and best of luck this season. And just can't wait to see what you guys accomplish.
Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. Panther family, thank you guys for the support as always. Be on the lookout for the next one, and as always, go Panthers.